Welcome back in the part 2 of third episode, Battle in the Skies, PF versus IF, May 2025. This is a special series of Marka Haq where we are examining the untold events during Pakistan and India War of 2025. I'm your host, Ahmed Hassan. Hello. In part 1, we talked about Indian and Pakistan Air Forces encounter on night of 6th and 7th May 2025, where 7 Indian fighter jets, including 4 Rafales, 1 Su-30, 1 MiG-29, 1 Mirage 2000 were downed, along with 1 unmanned Heron UAV.
एक जहाज नीचे इधर क्रैश हुआ इधर गिरा अभी वो आर्मी की तरफ से सुनने आ रहा है कि 2 पायलट थे.
Now in this episode we will examine and analyze the reasons. What was supposed to be a surprise attack by the Indian Air Force on civilian targets inside Pakistan territory becomes a surprise for Indian Air Force themselves. Pakistani officials had already warned that Indian military action was imminent on 29th April, repeating the claim on May 5th, basing on credible intelligence. Reports had indicated that India began moving fighter aircraft days before the strikes to its forward air bases closer to Pakistani border. On the night of 6th and 7th May, it was not possible for Indian Air Force to keep this large scale of aircraft assembly and preparations for attack hidden from eyes of a vigilant adversary. Both Pakistan and India, with long history of hostilities, have established intelligence footprint which could have alerted Pakistan of this impending misadventure. Around 70 to 100 aircrafts getting ready for an offensive at multiple airfields required massive activity on forward operational bases, including refueling and fitting live ammunition, which cannot go unnoticed. These strikes may have been both a show of force and a political message. Perhaps India was telegraphing its intent and avoiding border crossing to contain the conflict as per its choosing, and in hope that Pakistan would avoid retaliation. This, of course, is a speculation. What's now certain is that Pakistan knew that an attack was coming. Surprise was for Indian Air Force to see the response of Pakistan Air Force that they can be hit with PL-15 missiles deep in their own territory. During 2019, Operation Swift Retort, an earlier duel between the two air forces, Pakistan had an edge over Indian Air Force due to longer ranges of its Beyond Visual Range missile MRM, which basically downed 2 Indian fighter jets. India then acquired latest Rafale aircrafts equipped with Meteor BVR to edge out PAF. However, Pakistan Air Force acquisition of J-10Cs equipped with PL-15 missiles shifted the edge in Pakistan's favor, and on the night of 6th and 7th May, it was the PL-15 missiles fired from J-10Cs aircrafts and guided by long-range AWACS that shifted the balance. From Indian Air Force perspective, their aim was to fire air-to-surface missiles while remaining within its own territory and were not anticipating any response from their adversary. As per some reports, Indian Air Force were not carrying Meteor missiles but short-range MICA Mika and R-77 BDRs. Visualizing the complex environment on night of 6th and 7th May, the Pakistani Air Force was watching large number of Indian aircraft getting close to their borders. They were not sure if Indian aircrafts will cross the international border or not, and hence once Indian aircrafts fired the missiles, Pakistani planes got green light to engage them. One of the key questions discussed about this combat is why Indian latest Rafales were unaware of the incoming threat. One claim is that Indian Rafales could not share data linked with other Indian planes including AWACS, and Indian pilots were not expecting to be targeted. Indian aircraft didn't cross the border and neither did Pakistani aircrafts. Another likely explanation is that Pakistan used its AWACS to provide targeting data to J-10C's fighters, which might have kept their radars off, and PL-15 missiles were guided by AWACS until terminal flight. While Rafales have one of the best self-defense suits that could have alerted them, but Rafale self-defense systems fail to recognize PL-15 missiles as a threat, especially since it was a new missile. This was PL-15 first combat use, and its radar signature may not have been known outside China and Pakistan. Rafale pilots might only have received alerts in the final 25 kilometers of the missile flight, which is late to evade the incoming hypersonic missile. 3 months after the war, IAF Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh made one of the most bizarre claims when he said that India was able to down 5 to 6 Pakistani Air Force aircrafts using S-400 system. Another thing which is to be remembered is that S-400 is basically a defensive air defense system which is deployed deep within own territory and not an offensive system. Although S-400 can engage targets in Pakistani territory once placed well forward by making it vulnerable, it has to be remembered that given the 400 kilometers maximum range is something else, but effective range has to be considered due to curvature of the earth, as aircrafts can have ample warning and easily evade incoming missiles from far off distance. Stay tuned as we continue our journey, and in next episodes we'll examine Indian claims of Operation Sindoor.